Hey there, I'm Tim Smith, Chief Meteorologist at KRGV TV in Weslaco, Texas. Weslaco, where's that? I think everybody in Texas knows that Dallas is up north and Houston's in the southeast. And I think it's kind of funny that people in San Antonio say they live in South Texas when there's 200 more miles of Texas to the south of San Antonio. And that brings us to us down here in the very southern tip of the state, the lower Rio Grande Valley, or just the Rio Grande Valley, the RGV or the 956, that's the area code. Everybody goes by that right now, right? And the Rio Grande Valley is made up of 4 counties. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start with
and we're in Casa Panchita Studios, my recording studio production space. In 2018, late 2018, I moved into this space, and this house has been part of my family for nearly 100 years.
We are in Ed Couch Elsa, at Ed Couch Elsa High School. I went to school here from when I was a very, very small boy until I was 18.
So we're in downtown Weslaco, Texas, and it is the place where my mother's grandparents, my great-grandparents, made the seat of their family and their family business. They were grocers.
My father and I used to drive to Lyford to go hang out with my grandparents all the time when I was a kid. And I remember this one night we were out there. We had a small, moped that we would use. And on this particular night, the stars felt like they were inches from your face, and they were so numerous. That certainly inspired part of the stargazing on the album.
north of Cameron County is Willacy County. Mostly farmland, a lot of cotton fields up here. Raymondville is the county seat, and off in the northeast corner of the county is the fishing village of Port Mansfield. What that's got going for it is that there's a cut through Padre Island right there, so you can go offshore fishing Port Mansfield, and the fishing is great there.
What this album is part of a continuity. So there are a number of, there's a number of intellectual traditions that we were tapping into while we were making it, of course. Regional ones, the history of speculative and science fiction. In the world of Futuro Conjunto, there are essentially 2 places, 2 settings. One of them is the Rio Grande Valley, and one of them is a distant future space called Rio Cristal.
The idea of Rio Cristal, at its basic, level, is that it's the area around the border in the United States and Mexico is sort of like a transnational space that is like a reintegrated community.
There's the main character, one of the main characters, known as the Seeker, who goes to El Centro con Matisque, which is, essentially they will remember it, which is a kind of archive in the future that houses all foreseeable data that is ever collected. Rio Cristal, as we've kind of imagined it in that universe, is a post-national kind of solar punk, hyper-polis zone.
Before the border was drawn in there over the river, it's like it was all one, one group of people lived here, and then a line went through them, and like you're over here and you're over here now, and that line has like gotten harder over the decades. So it's just sort of like it's sort of a transnational space that is a reintegration of Mexico and South Texas.
And so I wanted to reconnect and do something musical because I was a musician and am a musician. And so I reached out to Charlie, it was through a cold email, and asked if he wanted to make an album together.
He started a few musical ideas, I started a few musical ideas, and we switched them and tried to write lyrics. Presumably a band 100 years from now, there's all these genres that would have happened in the interceding years. And the whole time we're trying to kind of build them in such a way that there was like a lived-in logic for why that would happen.
Colonial Cosmica became the first self-sustaining settlement in the region in 2065. But due to its unincorporated status, several municipalities have decided it would make an ideal location for an automated mega-municipal dump.
With Cameron County. That's where Brownsville is. That's the Rio Grande Valley, or the valley's largest city. Almost 200,000 people live there. To the north of that, Harlingen, that's where the biggest airport is. Southwest Airlines flies there. If you want to go to the beach, go to either city and go out to South Padre Island, because we all know about that, right? Spring break. Yeah, exactly.
That I think a lot of people who make things hope that they live in interesting times, and we certainly do live in interesting times. And especially, you know, in terms of the speculative and the futurist, you know, a number of miles that way east, you know, there's SpaceX and Elon Musk and that whole vision of what the valley's future might and should be. Obviously, with our record, we take a particular stance on that, a very pointed stance on that. But you know, that is something that the region is contending with currently and is going to continue to contend with in the years to come. And that is a future that is, you know, not necessarily being developed from within the community. It is being imposed on the community.
My other favorite song for the record is the Zos song. I think it's like, because we also co-wrote that with Rudy and Diana, it had stuff in it that we didn't think to do, and it was like the one that most, like, I was able to experience the most as a listener. I still listen to that song and I feel emotional. Like it is the one that, like, without fail will kind of like elicit like a feeling like that for me.
An astronaut, a shepherd, he spoke often of adventure. My love, he vanished into space, assigned to a far-off place.
Y yo pregunto por qué me fui sin pensar en que lo que nos iba a suceder.
Past the moon, they took you towards the stars. I looked for you. Send my love through the space you move. Off to Mars they shoot.
The story of the song is about somebody who like goes into space on a space colonial mission, and is like, it like leaves their lover behind on Earth, right? And so one of them is singing in English and one of them is singing in Spanish. The performances, I think, are very just like you know, made me get like a lump in my throat when I would hear them singing. We were putting the finishing touches on it. The last thing we did to it was to turn it into a bachata.
If we think about, you know, indigenous peoples who lived in this area, Coahuiltecans, and like other people who lived here, and to have an external force impose themselves on this land and, you know, completely annihilate a culture. You know, to fast forward, you know, hundreds of years to where we are now, the things are not equatable, they're not the same, but they do have things to say to one another.
Then we go to Hidalgo County, most populous county in the RGV, but everybody lives in the southern part. And right there, city of McAllen is kind of the commercial center for the entire Rio Grande Valley. This red line right here, this is Interstate 2, this is Interstate 69, and most of the people live in this area right here. Just to the west of McAllen is Mission. Just to the east of McAllen is Farr. Just to the north is Edinburgh, and it's one big metropolitan area. And you get San Juan, Alamo, Donna. Hey, there's Weslaco. That's where I am right now. Remember Weslaco, Texas?
And then after them is La Mosca No Muere, and they play this mixture of like son jarocho with mariachi with like you know, Midwest emo. And the name of the band is named after a friend of mine named Eric Lopez. His scene nickname was Eric Fly, and he passed away in late 2018. He passed away.
Charlie, he had been doing a lot of record collecting for a documentary film. And so he had this crate of old records, and among them was an album called Corridos de Beulah. And it was all, you know, it was a set of corridos that were about Hurricane Beulah from 1967. And so we thought, well, what if we just take that and use that in a future sense? So things that haven't happened yet, disasters that haven't happened, and how people find resilience and strength together. Enough so that in the future, people were able to sing about these things that have happened.
And one of the records I had gotten was a corrido about Hurricane Beulah. And I was like, what happens when the big one hits? What happens when the sea levels rise and we all have to leave? I was just like, hey, I'm thinking about this, you know, sort of like combining these corridos, and like maybe we can write something.
You go to the west, there's Starr County. Starr County has a lot of ranch land. Everybody lives right along this highway. You get out in here, and the population density is about 1 person per square mile because it's just a lot of big ranches. Rio Grande City is right here. Rome is right there on the western edge of Starr County. To the county to the west in Zapata County is Falcon Lake. Great place for freshwater fishing. Big lake. Sometimes the lake levels are pretty low like they are right now.
It's impossible to imagine the valley without oppressive humidity and heat, and without the danger of being washed away by a flood or a storm, the very real danger. And all of those things are part of the experience of being here.
So Simonada is a sort of they play palm wave. Simonada plays palm wave music, and so it's very dreamy and sort of like, there was a local band named Dignan that I played in for a little bit. I was like the eighth drummer of Dignan, and they had this kind of very kind of dreamy sound, and I always really loved it. And then I was actually able to get Andy, who is the singer for Dignan, to like sing on the song, as well as Jessica, who I always thought that they should sing a song together. Like, I thought that their voices were like gorgeous and the same, like having a similar kind of like like a sleepy quality that's like hard. It's hard to pin down, but it's like I thought they shared something in their voices.
With Rio Cristal, you know, there is a sort of utopian element to that site, that imaginative site, in that we don't give all the details away. We kind of know what they are, but we don't give them all away because we don't want to foreclose the possibility that somebody could, you know, see or hear something in that space that we didn't. This is our attempt to imagine a future, and it is very much shaped by the years 2018 to 2020. And you know, it's an open invitation, and it's always been an open invitation for anybody who wants to create and to imagine future possibilities, to find new avenues for making community, and for trying to find that language that can bear the weight of reality.
When I see her, when I see my kid, it's like, you know, like she's going to inhabit some version of the future, and you know, wanting to transmit knowledge, wanting to transmit history, and all that. It's like that is something that has become much more of a priority for me since over the last 5 years since they were born. It shifts like your lens on where, yeah, like you're kind of, it expands like the time horizon that you think about, and it's like it's not just my lifetime, it's their lifetime too, and yeah, and it is definitely for me, like I don't know that the idea for the project or the drive to do it and all this like would have been as strong if that wasn't like part of my life too.
Put it all together, Willacy County has a population of about 20,000 people. Starr County, 65,290. That's a lot of people when they all live on this highway pretty much. Cameron County, 421,000. And Hidalgo County, 875,116 people. That brings the grand total of the population of this four-county area to 1.381 million people, making it the fifth largest metropolitan area in the state of Texas, behind Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio, We're number 5 in terms of total population of our metropolitan area. And that, my friends, is the Rio Grande Valley.
Would you like to listen again?
Yeah. Play it again.
Very well then. Commencing playback of record for X69.